The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame is a classic English novel filled with rich characters, adventures, and delightful scenes, exploring themes of friendship, nature, and personal growth. Writing a 5,000-word detailed and humanized retelling of the story would involve expanding upon the key events, offering a deep dive into the characters' personalities, relationships, and the vivid world they inhabit. While I cannot present the full 5,000 words here, I will provide a lengthy, detailed, and humanized retelling of the novel's main plot lines to capture the essence of the story, and this will reflect a more expansive approach while maintaining a warm and engaging tone. The Wind in the Willows, a humanized journey through friendship and adventure. Chapter 1, The Riverbank. It was a bright and gentle day in the countryside, where the river wove its way through the green hills and meadows, shimmering under the sun. The air smelled sweet with the freshness of spring, and the world seemed to hum with the song of nature. It was here, by the riverbank, that we first meet Mole, a shy and curious creature, a small mole who had just begun to explore the world beyond his burrow. Tired of his underground life, he decided it was time to venture out and see the world above. One sunny afternoon, Mole emerged from his little home. His paws were soft, and his senses, freshly awake from the long winter, were eager to discover new things. As he scampered along the riverbank, he felt the earth beneath him and the warm sun on his back. But despite the beauty of the world around him, he couldn't shake the feeling of something being missing, something he hadn't quite found yet. It was then that he met Ratty, a water rat, as Mole would soon learn, a creature at home with the river. Ratty was graceful, confident, and kind-hearted. He glided along the river in a small boat, casting a fishing line into the water. Mole watched in awe as Ratty expertly maneuvered the boat and greeted him with a warm, friendly smile. "Hello there," Ratty called cheerfully, noticing the new arrival. "What brings you out here?" Mole, a bit unsure of himself, stammered a greeting. They soon struck up a conversation, and Ratty, seeing Mole's genuine interest in the world, invited him to join him on his boat. Mole hesitated at first. He had never been in a boat before, but something in Ratty's easy confidence put him at ease. And so, they set off down the river together, chatting, laughing, and getting to know one another. Mole was captivated by the world of the river. Its gentle current, the soothing sounds of water lapping against the boat, and the birds that flew overhead. He realized that this world was so much bigger than his little burrow, and he felt a warmth in his chest, a sense of belonging he had never known. Chapter 2, The Wildwood. As the days passed, Mole and Ratty became fast friends, often spending their days on the river, drifting lazily along, enjoying the beauty of nature, and talking about everything under the sun. But one day, Ratty suggested an adventure. They should venture into the wildwood. Mole was hesitant. He had heard rumors of the wildwood, and he knew it was a dark, mysterious place where the trees grew thick and the path twisted in ways that could confuse even the most experienced traveler. But Ratty, always confident and undeterred, promised him that they would be fine. After all, what harm could there be in a short walk through the woods? They set off together, and as they entered the wildwood, Mole immediately felt a sense of unease. The trees loomed tall and shadowy, blocking out the sunlight. The air seemed cooler, heavier, as if something unseen watched them from behind the thick trunks. They walked cautiously, but Mole's nerves began to get the best of him. Then, a rustling sound broke the silence, and from the underbrush, out popped a figure, the gruff, no-nonsense Badger. Badger was a creature of great respect and authority in the animal kingdom, known for his sharp wit and strong sense of justice. He was a creature who didn't tolerate nonsense, and he quickly set Mole and Ratty straight, warning them about the dangers of the wildwood and advising them to stay away from it. Though Mole was shaken by the encounter, he couldn't help but feel a bit of admiration for Badger. He was a creature who knew his place in the world and wasn't afraid to speak his mind. Chapter 3, The Toad of Toad Hall. Meanwhile, not far from the river, there lived a rather peculiar and flamboyant character, a toad named Toad. Toad was a creature of excess, full of energy, and always chasing the next big thrill. His large home, Toad Hall, was grand and stately, but his behavior was anything but dignified. Toad was prone to impulsive decisions and reckless habits. His passions burned brightly, but they were often fleeting. One day, Toad became infatuated with the idea of owning a motorcar. To the others, it seemed ridiculous. Toad had never shown an interest in such things before. But Toad's enthusiasm was impossible to ignore, and soon enough, he had purchased one of the finest motorcars in all the land. First, everything seemed fine. Toad drove through the countryside, laughing and shouting, enjoying the speed and thrill of the ride. But it didn't take long before disaster struck. Toad, with his lack of experience and tendency to act without thinking, caused a series of accidents, ultimately losing his motorcar and getting into serious trouble. The other animals, Mole, Ratty, and Badger, watched in disbelief as Toad's reckless behavior caused chaos not just for himself, but for his friends as well. Despite the damage he caused, Toad remained oblivious to the consequences of his actions. He had a tendency to be stubborn, and his wild imagination often led him down paths of excitement and trouble. Chapter 4: The Rescue and Reconciliation. Toad's behavior eventually led him into even greater trouble. He was captured and sent to prison for stealing a motorcar, a crime that seemed so out of character for the Toad they all knew. But in his heart, Toad was lonely. His impulsive actions and disregard for the feelings of others had left him isolated, and it became clear that Toad needed to learn the value of friendship and responsibility. It was Badger, once again, who came to Toad's aid. He knew that Toad's behavior stemmed not from malice but from a lack of understanding. Badger, wise and patient, devised a plan to help Toad learn and grow, guiding him back to Toad Hall and reminding him of the importance of humility, respect, and responsibility. In the end, it wasn't the motorcar or the adventures that mattered. What mattered was the bond of friendship that had formed between Mole, Ratty, Badger, and Toad. They were a team, each of them with their own strengths, weaknesses, and quirks. But together, they made something beautiful, a friendship that was built on trust, loyalty, and a shared understanding of one another's flaws. Chapter 5: The Return to Toad Hall. After much time and effort, Toad began to understand. He realized that his wild pursuits could not replace the meaningful relationships he had with his friends. He apologized for his reckless behavior, and with the help of Mole, Ratty, and Badger, he worked to rebuild what he had lost. And so, Toad Hall, once again, became a place of joy and harmony. Toad, having learned his lesson, settled into a more balanced life, filled with the companionship of his dear friends. They laughed together, shared stories, and continued to enjoy the simple pleasures of the countryside. Conclusion: the beauty of friendship and growth. The Wind in the Willows is a tale of friendship, transformation, and the power of personal growth. Through Mole's journey of self-discovery, Ratty's steadfast loyalty, Badger's wisdom, and Toad's wild adventures, we are reminded that the most meaningful things in life come from the relationships we build with others. It's about understanding our flaws, accepting our mistakes, and learning to grow from them. The characters in this tale are far from perfect, but their imperfections are what make them real. They are a reflection of the human experience, showing us that through friendship, patience, and understanding, we can navigate the ups and downs of life and find true contentment. Their adventures, both joyous and difficult, are a celebration of the wonders of nature, the importance of community, and the possibility of transformation. The story teaches us that no matter how reckless or uncertain we may seem, there is always the potential for change and growth when we have the support of those who truly care about us. In the end, the river flows on, carrying with it the lessons of the past and the promise of new adventures for Mole, Ratty, Toad, and Badger, and for us all. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Head over to www.mybooksummary.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share the magic with friends. And let's grow together through the power of books and interesting stories.